Hello everyone, it's always a pleasure having you on Football Planet. Our top stories this day. We now know the representatives of Africa at the next World Cup for the under-20s. There will be 4 of them, the 4 best in the African Cup of Nations in the category, whose semi-finals have been played on Wednesday, and it will be without host country Niger. African club competitions return a week after a break, a sharp and contested U-turn. The reinstatement of the Egyptian club Ismaily after its exclusion from the tournament by CAF. This decision further disrupts Group C, where TP Mazembe made a difficult trip to Club Africanews Stadium in Tunisia. And then at the end of the show, Kenyan coach Sebastien Migné will talk to us about the Harambee Stars qualification for the next Africa Cup of Nations after 15 years of absence and the preparation of the tournament scheduled for next summer in Egypt. We will be back very shortly. Welcome to Football Planet. Senegal, South Africa, Nigeria and Mali are the last 4 of the African Cup of Nations for the under-20s. The 4 teams will also represent Africa at the next World Cup of the category scheduled for next summer in Poland. On the other hand, there was a big disappointment for the host country Niger. Details with Almen Kenga and Claudian Sono.
Nigeria, South Africa and Mali joined Senegal in the semi-finals of the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations in Niger. All 4 teams have qualified for the 2019 Under-20 World Cup in Poland, slated for May. On Friday, Nigeria beat hosts Niger 1-0 in Niamey to reach the semi-finals. Mali secured the last semi-final spot with a 1-0 victory over former Under-20 World Cup winners Ghana in their final Group B game on Saturday. South Africa secured their position, beating Burundi 1-0 at the Stade de Maradi. Senegal lashed Burkina Faso 5-1. While Nigeria finished top of Group A on 7 points, South Africa came second on 5 points. Hosts Niger were third on 2 points, with Burundi finishing bottom of the standings on 1 point.
The semi-finals of the under-20 matches are programmed for this Wednesday and the finals on Saturday in Niamey. Like we mentioned in the top stories, a huge controversy at CAF Champions League. Almost 3 weeks after her exclusion by CAF, Ismaily of Egypt will return to the tournament. The Egyptian club therefore won their appeal, which further disrupts Group C, which will begin the return phase with Tupuisa Mazembe's deadly trip to Club Africain in Tunisia. Details in the following images.
For TP Mazembe, the objective is clear: to take the final blow to maintain the gap in front of the African club that has been psychologically weakened by the humiliating 8-0 that will weigh heavily on the match in any case. Not because of their victim's desire for revenge, but because of the controversy surrounding the high-tension match. To justify the failure of their team, the Tunisians have found nothing better than to accuse the executioners of having put an illegal substance in their drink to drug them. These accusations were considered scandalous by the Congolese and swept away by medical examinations, according to the Tunisian press. While waiting for the continuation of the complaint announced by their leaders, the reception looks hostile for the Lubumbashi Ravens. Now it remains for Parfelia Mihail's men to prove on the field that they are far superior to their rivals, or for the Tunisians to show that the slap on the first leg was only the result of the mistakes of an evening without pomp and circumstances.
Note that following the unprecedented humiliation in the first leg, the Tunisians parted ways with their head coach Heib Eli, who resigned. He was replaced by Frenchman Victor Nzunka. Get the full program of matches, day 4 of the African Champions League, as well as the group rankings. We will, of course, bring you the rest of these games in our next edition. Excitement touching roof levels in the UEFA Champions League, and the clash between Manchester United and Paris Saint-Germain sets the pace. A Parisian side that will have to do without Neymar, Edison Cavani and Thomas Meunier for the trip to Old Trafford. Parisian coach Thomas Tuchel will have to find solutions.
If 2 or 3 key players are not there, it's our responsibility to find solutions. It's very difficult if we play without our best team. It's a big challenge. If there's a lack of key players, it is even a greater challenge. But Tuesday, we're going to be ready, I think.
There is good news for the French side as Marco Verratti returns after 3 weeks of absence due to injury. And then in the other games, we'll have AS Roma against FC Porto on Tuesday, and Tottenham takes on Dortmund on Wednesday, while champions Real Madrid travel to Ajax Amsterdam.
Back
to the continent, to the CAF Confederations Cup, which is only in its second day, a day marked in particular by the second Moroccan derby between RS Berkane and Hassania Agadir in Group A, and the clash of leaders in Group B between CS Sfaxien and Enugu Rangers. All the matches on this second day of play of the CAF Cup are played this Wednesday. Now it's time for our guest. It's Sebastien Mignet, coach of Kenya's national team, who have already qualified for the next Africa Cup of Nations. A first time in 15 years. First of all, congratulations, coach. You have been in France for some time with the president of the Kenyan Football Federation. Can you tell us the purpose of that trip?
Explore potential training camps to best prepare for the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations in June. We are not far from having found our happiness today on the internships we had already done with other teams in the Paris region. Why Paris? The ease of air transport, also the possibility of playing friendly matches against African teams, particularly French-speaking nations. That's it. And then maybe training in a place where it won't be too hot, because adding fatigue to fatigue before a tournament like the Africa Cup is complicated. So I think we'll do our preps in France.
As I said earlier, Kenya's last qualification was in 2004. So what was the secret behind this recent success?
The work, a little bit of luck that I didn't have in Congo. Here, everything fell into place. We had a great performance against Ghana that gave us a glimpse of the dream of qualifying after 15 years of absence. And then the players almost bluffed me. It was then confirmed against Ethiopia. And then, now we're going to live our dream big by trying not to stop ourselves from continuing to dream and eventually getting out of the hands.
But do you agree that it could have been more complicated without the disqualification of Sierra Leone?
We were rather serene in the sense that we are still the lead of the group, so I think the pressure may be on other teams. We had plenty of time to qualify on the pitch too when we hosted Sierra Leone. No, we tried to take it game by game to cook something solid. When I was hired, the objective was to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations 2021. Yes, we got a head start, so that's good. We're saving time. It's going to offer a great experience to our players and try to build something solid for the future Kenya national team.
One last question on a personal note. With this story of the non-payment of your salary, we know that was the reason you left Congo. Has the problem finally been solved?
It's always complicated. It's easier to put pressure on you when you win. At the moment, I am less helped by the good spirit of my team. It's sometimes complicated in Africa, but I have confidence and I think things will get better over time. I'm getting used to it. Being with Claude Leroy makes it my second year of expatriation, so it wasn't always easy. What interests me above all is the sporting level, the potential Kenya has today, and then the dynamics of the last few months. That's it. All else will be all right.
Thank you, Sébastien Mignet, the head coach of the Harambee Stars of Kenya, who have qualified for the African Cup of Nations after 15 years of absence. And with that, we come to the end of this program. Get more on our website on www.africanews.com. Philemon Bale is my name for translation. Do have an excellent week. Bye-bye.